Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I've got a treat for you. We have Team Canada and French Nation, Team France, in Nations Cup play. This one, I was told, was a wild one. It was played over a week ago, but told it was a good one, and so I'm going to stream it for you today. We have the video, weirdly enough, in two pieces because Max can't seem to get his computer to work correctly. So I've got turn one on one video, and then I have the rest of the game on a second video. So just a brief pause between the two once we get started. But here we go. Playing this at double speed because it's a team game. And the Team Canada is playing as US. We're watching from their side. This seems like a pretty clear Marshall opening. Not a bad hand here for the Canadians. Yeah, I like 3-3-2 here. I think 3-3-2 is better than is better than 3-2-3 because you have sock govs in hand. So you do not need to worry about a coup in Italy, and you can get a fourth into France. You do not need to worry about, rather, sock govs taking Italy. So yeah, this looks like a nice Marshall headline. Not sure exactly what the Canadians are waiting for. Maybe they're just trying to fake defectors or something like that. Okay. And we do see De Gaulle. So 4-4-3 looks pretty good right about now. It means Duck can't take France. Ooh, and a quick Europe scoring from Team France. So that's interesting. I don't know. I might have tried to dump it in the headline, but I guess with De Gaulle, you just headline that and make sure you can get out of it. Okay. So the Canadians certainly will go into Western Asia here. You got a couple of guilt-free threes. Yeah, getting a third into France is good. Not 100% necessary with Europe scored in DEF CON at 5, but then it will be necessary once DEF CON drops to 4. So instead of going Pakistan, they go into Afghanistan with just one. Yeah, you could realign France at +4, but I think you would much rather spread out of Iran. Okay, and a big 4 out there takes Iraq, along with getting one into Afghanistan. Canadians waste no time in spacing, which makes sense. Picks up 2 VPs. So the Pakistan is now open, but the Canadians have the war, so we'll see how that shakes out. Okay, Team France decides right away to take Pakistan, which makes sense. I like that move. The Canadians are going to look like they're going to try a coup rather than trying the war at DEF CON 5. No, now looking at trying the war. It is naked. So 50-50 shot on the war. And they miss. Okay, so letting the French into Pakistan backfires on the Canadians. And now I wonder if we could see a realignment in Iran. But I guess with one in Afghanistan, that's not a great play, even though Afghanistan could then be realigned at +2. The French need mill-ops as well. So if I were Team France, I don't know if I'd coup Iran here because I think I'd want to spread into India before I do that. Even with the war gone, you don't want Pakistan. You don't want to get couped out of Pakistan. Team France certainly not playing. Oh, they're going to just dump Asia. Wow. Okay, so they had 2 scoring cards in their hand. And in the end, they go off for a +2 total for Team France. So now, okay, looking at a 3-op coup of Pakistan. Oh, and a big miss. I don't know if I would have taken that big 3-op coup. I might have rather used that 3 on something else, like taking Thailand. But okay, if they didn't need all those mill-ops. Now DEFCON's sitting at 4. I'd have considered taking that opportunity to do a 1-op realign of France at +4, actually. That seemed like probably the time to do it. Wouldn't have been crazy there, but we move on. And the French, I assume we're going to see a coup here. Yep, there it is. They'll coup Iran. Oh, and a huge roll. Wow. And Middle East now the only unscored region, the only unscored early war region. And the Canadians will take Egypt to reestablish presence. This seems like a good play to me. I think you have to take presence back, and you don't. And if you take Lebanon, that's probably getting cooed because France is short on mill-ops. So I think I like Egypt here, and then you have a 1-op, which can take Lebanon if necessary. I do confirm it. We'll see if France decides to coup again or if they'll give up the VP. The French may want to take take a Middle East dom here as well. Might want to take Syria, might want to get into India. Okay, or they might want to space NORAD. Okay, so a tricky hand for Team France, for sure, but favorable rolls for them. They hit their space roll. They hit a big number on Iraq. They get a 6 on a had to be a 6. They do not get the war. Canada fails on the war, fails on the coup in Pakistan. Spent 5 ops there getting absolutely nothing out of it, so tough break for them. And now the Canadians have a 1-op, and I think this has to be Lebanon, doesn't it? So that Nasser doesn't make you presenceless? Or something like Suez. Okay, and there's the video. So, or something like I was going to say Suez and a coup. But all right, let's flip it over to the rest of the game. I'm just going to do that right now, and we will get back going. I'm going to try out a new. All right, here we go. Using OBS's feature that allows the video to be played directly within OBS instead of. Okay. So playing the video directly within OBS so that it doesn't show the time at the bottom. If I have to switch off of it, we'll see how this works. Let me know if there's an issue. And so here we go. So CIA headlines from Team Canada. A little surprised at CIA. Okay, already having problems, so this is not great. Okay, there we go. Sorry about this, folks. Let's try something else. Not too pleased with this. Apologize for the technical difficulties here. Okay. All right, and we're back. Here we go. So, decall is the headline against CIA. And yes, as I speculated, Team Canada did go into Lebanon on their AR-6. I'm a little surprised at the CIA headline. Purge normally makes sense here, but we will see what the Canadians are hoping to accomplish with CIA. They know they're not going to see any scorings. So decall, so probably hoping to get a coup off in Africa here. Okay, so looks like my video problems were not related to the app at all. Okay, so here we go. Decall went into Angola, Zaire, Thailand, and Malaysia. So the Canadians here can take a coup in Africa, but that loses Thailand. I don't know. I guess you take the coup in Africa and you force the French to take Thailand and then you get another coup in Africa? Is that right? You take two coups in Africa, then you do lose Thailand and you lose Algeria. I think I'd just coup here. But chat, let me know if I'm missing anything. Okay, and instead, the Canadians go into Indonesia. I think I would have liked a coup there. Just coup Africa. Drop DEFCON to 3. Force Team France to immediately take Thailand, and then you coup again. Okay, UN of US Japan, that'll go Thailand at least one. Oh, wow. They put 3 into Thailand and then 1 into India. They really did not want to eat a Thailand coup. Okay, and the Canadians try a big coup on Pakistan, and they hit the roll with a 5. Now I suspect we'll see a Panama coup here to protect Africa. Panama coup protects Africa, and then Team Canada will probably take Algeria. Yeah, Panama coup. Okay, a big roll there. Defectors coming back in the deck. This is an easy Algeria take. Well, I don't like this. Algeria is way better, isn't it? How is this not Algeria? Okay, they go one Algeria and one into India. I think I would have just taken Algeria, but okay. One India gives access to the top gives access to Burma, I suppose. And you're challenging the French to immediately take India because they obviously can't take both India and Algeria. Okay, Warsaw gonna go one, and then one into Burma. Okay. I think I still like taking Algeria, but yeah, Libya is important too. It's a VP for Middle East scoring. They triggered the war. I didn't see what the roll was, but it was less than a 6. Fidel for ops to take Burma, one more India. Okay, they really don't want the unmodified IP war to come back. I think got to dump the scoring here, don't you? Put Duck back in the deck, and then Suez doesn't. The blockade is gone, so Suez doesn't need to be held. But I don't know that you want to trigger it here because you're going to have to repair the 2 France and the 1 UK. So it's pretty much just an empty. It's worse than an empty action round. Romanian's going to take. Oh, going to go into South Korea. That makes sense. The Korean War is still unseen. Interesting. The Canadians decide to trigger Suez. And take France. Truman is unseen, I believe. So effectively, they just traded 2 influence in the UK for 1 in France there. Now, Team France will certainly want to take one of these battlegrounds in Asia, maybe 2 of them. Okay, they're going to take India and Laos, which gives them Dom in Asia. And then they also take Syria, so that Nasser gives them Dom in the Middle East. Now, I think Team Canada will want to take Dom in Europe, but even with de Gaulle and Suez gone, obviously France and Italy are very vulnerable to a socialist redraw. I think if you're going to put a 4th in Italy, you've also got to put a 5th in France. I don't think there's a reason to do one but not the other. I think you do both or neither. And 2 ops isn't going to stop Dom in Asia. So I think I like this. This is what I would do, and that's exactly what the Canadians do. Now, specials around, and indeed Team Canada gets it, along with Vietnam and NATO. Final remaining 4-op. Oh, and 2 big 4-op redraws. That's very helpful. D-Stall now back in the deck. CNS, the quick headline, and I think that's right. I'm sure the Canadians would have liked to use CNS on a 50-50 spot rather than a 2/3 shot, but I think it's the only reasonable headline here. Oh, Sock Govs redraw. So immediately their conservatism in Europe pays off because they would have lost one of France or Italy. And instead they will not. No scorings known in the French hand. No D cards known in the French hand either. Okay, and a big coup on Algeria. And Canada now with a bunch of ops here. They've got 3 4-ops. Only one of them is known. So the Canadians probably want to stop Asia Dom. Team France has Truman as well, so that is worth pointing out. Korean War is going to have to take South Korea. That reestablishes Dom. I think Special's got to take Philippines to stop it. Yep, that's right. EU is going to take Vietnam, presumably. Oh, going to take Taiwan. Going to take Taiwan. That makes perfect sense. Vietnam is known in the Canadian hand, so it would be annoying to have to take Vietnam. And Canada, I wonder if they just respond by taking Japan here. Oh, okay, they're just going to jam North Korea. That makes sense too. Ooh, NORAD. Okay. So the French have to give NORAD here. AI war again. Needs a 6 to succeed. And they roll a 1 instead. So NORAD now active. And there's Truman. Presumably we'll see maybe an overprotection in Asia, or maybe we'll just see one in West Germany. Yeah, I think that's right. I think you force the Canadians to just take it. Mexico makes sense. Oh, thank you, PSI Red Eye. Appreciate the kind words and the 500 bits or something of that nature, or cheers. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. Glad you enjoy the content, and hope you will keep watching. And there's Containment, which was known in the French hand, and that's just going to do a bunch of overprotecting in Asia. Very boring. And now we have 3 ops from Vietnam. Could take... Okay, Israel does give a dom in the Middle East. And the Canadians, the French do have 8 countries now in Asia, so it's going to be tough to stop their domination. Turn 4. Okay, 2 scoring cards, and Junta is huge here, though. Junta absolutely huge with both South America and Central scoring in hand. Hoping to be able to get a big role in Panama could be absolutely huge. And I don't think you're going to get an enormous number in South America, but you should be able to get it off for 4. Assuming the French didn't redraw D-stall. But here we go. I think this is a clear junta. I don't know why it wouldn't be. CMC, I suppose, is a possibility with Cuba empty. Nuke subs is interesting, but I think you will want to score the Americas first. Nuke subs is an interesting hold card. Another interesting hold card is UN. We did not draw any cards to use with UN, so it's going to have to be played for 1-op or held. I would think this is just a junta into South America and a coup of Panama, but the Canadians thinking it over. No, they do go CMC. Very interesting. Okay, ABM. And that's a problem because that's going to go. Oh, and they take a coup on Libya. Boy, okay, and now one small step. All right, I'm a little confused by that. So I guess maybe they have Middle East, but I think I would have gone with ABM. You could walk into Colombia and then get into Venezuela. With DEFCON dropping to 2, you could go Colombia and Cameroon. Okay, realigns of Panama don't work. You could have gone Colombia, Cameroon with ABM, and then gotten into Venezuela and Nigeria as DEFCON dropped to 2. Okay, so there's Allende, and now Argentina's got to be taken. And if they had a 4-op, taking Argentina and Peru would make sense. Gives you a presenceless Dom and threatens Chile with realigns, but I think this is right. Little surprised at that Libya coup. So, yeah, CMC, I'm sure Canada's plan was they could have gone Uruguay with the junta and gotten into both halves. Okay, just a 1-op. I think you just score here for 3, don't you? Or do you take Chile? It's only 1 additional point. Okay, they're going to try and get the Dom. Yeah, that does make sense under CMC. Okay, so they could have scored for 3. Instead, there's arms race, so they will get arms race off, and now they'll get the 6. Okay, and there goes Grain to Space. Misses on the roll. Central scoring goes off for even. Interesting they go Peru instead of Uruguay, but I guess that's just to discourage the taking of Chile. And Nuke subs would seem to be a good hold here. UN is always a fine hold, but I think I like Nuke subs better. The Independent Reds should probably take South Africa. Ooh, that's annoying. Okay, no wonder they didn't go Nigeria. Okay, I think Independent Reds needs to probably take Indonesia. Or UN can take Indonesia. But yeah, I like Indonesia here. I think this has to be a nuke subs hold, given the situation in Africa. And there's Nasser. Interesting Nasser for ops. Going to try and keep him around in the late war. Okay, and they do try realliance on Chile at +2, now +3, and they hit those. So, okay, goodbye, Allende. Okay, here we go, turn 5. Africa comes out, and a bunch of crappy ops. Oh, quick headline of IP war. That makes sense. You're going to headline IP war, and then Probably nuke subs on AR1. Nuke subs headline would mean the French would probably wait and not coup right away. This could be a huge IP war roll here. Would even up Asia. Okay, Southeast just going to be 2. And will they hit the roll? They do. Huge roll for the Canadians there after some poor rolls in Western Asia early in the game. So this is a clear AR1 nuke subs unless something crazy happens. Interesting. You Surrey for a coup, so that makes the Canadians a little bit sad. They're not going to be able to get cultural out, and a big roll makes them even sadder. So, yeah, I think this is an overprotected West Germany. I think that's exactly right. Then this is just a nuke subs event right away. Yep. Okay. Now you just go ahead and take your big shots on Africa. Team France up by 2. Oh boy, and they get rid of Nixon too. Wow. And I think you have to ignore Colombia because with Africa in your hand. Yeah, that's rough. Wow. They get rid of Usuri and Nixon. And now cultural sitting is in the Canadian hand. You could coup with China and then give cultural, but that gives France control of the China card for the rest of the game. Yeah, that's tough. I think now we will see France move into Venezuela. We got a close game here. South America looks like it's about to be even. Central a problem for the Canadians, but they are ahead in Europe, and they are making progress in Africa. We've seen ABM, we've seen Junta. No brush, though. I think the French probably want to get into Venezuela here, but you can't just put one there like you normally would, obviously because of nuke subs. But I think the Canadians are going to ignore it even if they did that because they need to coup in Africa and they have crappy ops. Okay, here we go with defectors to take South Africa. Makes sense. One op coup on Nigeria also makes sense. Good enough. Wonder if we could see realigns on Zaire. I don't think a flip of Zaire makes sense, but okay, there's Sadat. So the bet on playing Nasser for ops works out. And they do realign Zaire. Now we'll see a coup in Angola. They hit that. So now 2 battlegrounds to 2. But taking Zaire back will give Dom to the French. And I think they do have to take Zaire back to force the Canadians to coup it. Okay, 4 ops, 1 Yeah, and oh, they do go one into Japan, which is interesting. Taking Japan would give them Dom back. I think you can use South African here, but if you get Angola flipped on you, it's annoying. Yeah, this they'll go to Angola. You got a coup Zaire, anything but a one, and they roll the four. So now I think so. If we see a flip, okay, no flip. So this will just be Africa scoring here. You're down 4 countries to 3. I think you score it though, right? You just score it for one. If you decide to, if you coup Cameroon, you get Dom, but then Angola flipping back would flip Dom back to red. So I don't think you can do that. Yeah, and there's Kennedy. So certainly I think you dump both with Asia, Europe, Middle East out there. Okay, they're going to just dump the one, play it safe, and they'll get How I Learned. Okay, and both South American countries are taken. So South America even now. And interesting decision here. Could space cultural could trigger How I Learned. Poke of Iran is a little weird. I might have taken Jordan. I think I would have rather taken Jordan, which stops Dom by itself. But okay, the Poke of Iran is interesting. And Camp David comes, so we don't need to take Jordan. Also, Canada gets the Pope. What we don't see is Quagmire, which is the likely headline from the French. Because the Pope with NORAD, very annoying. Yeah, clear Pope headline here. Che is not a big problem. It does allow a coup in Peru, but that's it. So Che's givable. I don't think you want to give D-Stall, even though it's not all that useful. You're still gonna lose Cuba to it. Yeah, and there's Quagmire. So no more NORAD. And Olympic coup in Africa. They'll hit the roll. That's good enough. Dump of D-Stall is a no-brainer. They hit that roll. And now Team France will take Iran back, and they'll take Nigeria as well, I have to think. Maybe step into Saudi. Salt for ops. A lot of good stuff in the discard. But, oh, yes, of course they have to put one back into Poland. Going to resolve Che, allow the coup in Peru, and it misses. So now I think this is this just an Angola overprotect and take Botswana? You could jam some ops into Poland because it's still not controlled by the USSR, but Warsaw is around. You could also go Angola, Jordan to stop Dom in the Middle East. But that just forces the taking of Saudi, so that doesn't really do you much good. Oh, a brush of Italy, and it hits. Oh, that's huge. That is a disaster for the Canadians. That was their only good region. That was their only positive scoring region on the board. And now that's gone. So yeah, I think I like this play to jam Poland. Alliance is just 2, so I think you play that for ops. Okay, and there's Asia. So Team France could have taken Japan, which would have gotten them Dom, but they don't have a 4-op to do it, or they just didn't want the China card getting played on them. Camp David for the event and a VP makes perfect sense. Bear traps a space for 3 VPs. No, they will miss the roll. Alliance needs to get back into the deck, and I think taking Saudi is good. That evens up the Middle East. Muslims is gone. Both players being pretty cagey in Poland with Warsaw around. I don't know if it's in the, I think it might be in the deck. Or unseen, rather. Could be in the French hand. Yeah, Team Canada going to give Romania in here, hold cultural, and then hope to space it next turn. And there goes Warsaw for ops. Okay, so they did have Warsaw, so good on Canada for not really forcing the issue there. Warsaw now going back into the deck for the late war. And now Romanian has to be taken to stop that. Portugal has to be taken to stop Dom. And here we go into turn 7. Okay, so Canada gets Middle East. They also get Fidel and OPEC. So OPEC is an issue. That's 4 VPs. OPEC basically unplayable. 1 redraw, and it's NATO. OPEC is unplayable. Fidel is really annoying. And cultural is a problem as well. So this is not great. And yeah, they're gonna go with a purge. Now, I don't believe we've seen Missile Envy. Could be wrong here, but Missile Envy would be a disaster. It would pull NATO. And they have Headline Peak. There's no reason not to headline Missile Envy if you have it, because you think you're going to get Cultural, which is good, OPEC, which is good, or Shuttle, which is good. But if the Canadians didn't headline Purge, then the French would think they're getting purged, so they would definitely headline Missile Envy. Maybe they'll headline something else. I also could have missed it and Missile Envy been played for ops, but I don't think so. Team Canada needs to get back in this game. They are down in Central America. They're down in Africa. They're down in Europe, even in the Middle East, and slightly behind in Asia. But they currently do not have a positive region on the board. VP track is at 0. So no War Games threat at the moment. But Team Canada definitely behind here. I think this has to be Missile Envy. Doesn't it? Nope, Brezhnev. They play Missile Envy for ops. Wow. What a break for Canada. What a break for Canada to have Missile Envy played for ops here. I don't know that we need to use NATO here, do we? Because once you use NATO, France knows your entire hand. So couldn't this just be Shuttle? I guess maybe you're thinking about Shuttle for the event. That's what it is. Okay, Arms Race was a redraw. Shuttle for the event gives Middle East Dom. That makes sense. Okay, sorry, I was not even thinking about that. Yeah, and you needed 2 ops to keep Angola and not get realigned in Zaire and keep the threat of realigned in South Africa on. Okay, and a Europe redraw. No, it wasn't. Never mind. That wasn't auto redraw. I don't think Europe was a redraw. Okay, but the Shuttle event, trade 3 ops for 3 VPs. That works out. Panama Canal return will certainly be an event. OAS will certainly be an event. And the question is, which of these cards are you going to stomach as the USA? You really don't want to give Fidel, but I believe France has Libs. So maybe Fidel's not so bad. I think, isn't this Panama? I think you use Panama Canal here, and then you see if France uses Libs right after that. Yeah, this is clearly an event, and I think this is the right time. I think you want to wait on this decision as long as you can. And there goes Libs. Okay, so that'll be 2 Panama, 1 Cuba. Yeah, just still want to make Fidel as painful as possible, but also leave some presence there. Okay, and they're just they're going to space OPEC, which makes sense. You cannot give up 3 VPs here. CRG, not particularly useful at the moment. Yeah, 1 Nigeria. I think you use them in Africa. Lao is a possibility as well. You really don't want to give Fidel here because it sets up central control. Yeah, you could play China, give cultural, hold Fidel and OAS. Ooh, man, I don't know if I like that. Setting yourself up to get realigned immediately. Okay. You're just hoping they miss on these rolls. Or Team Canada knows that France has cards they can't use for ops. And then they'll get their Milops AR7 by cooing Cameroon, or actually more likely Saharan, to set up the Algeria realigns and protect Nigeria. Okay, so as of right now, no DOMs on the board for anyone. Europe is 1, Asia is 1, Middle East is 0, Africa is 1, South America is 0, and then Central, of course, is an issue for Team Canada, big problem. So they need to address that. There's a big 4-op of flower power. Okay, and they are not going to try realigning Nigeria. Instead, they're going to protect Algeria and Cuba, knowing that a coup is almost certainly coming. And yeah, I don't think you can give up the 2 VPs of Milops here. I think you've got a coup. You're probably doing it in Central America. I mean, you could do it in Saharan. Yeah, it's Saharan or it's Haiti. Oh, they go Cameroon instead. Interesting. Okay, here we go to the late war. Oh, and the Team Canada gets gunmen with no China, but they do get SALT and UN, so they will get out of it, no problem. Yeah, Purge to SALT 4 is nice. OAS is known. Oh, Reformer fully active is brutal. one Brazil, and then I was wondering if you just go one Guatemala. Yeah, I think this is right. Because central scoring is a big problem here, and you need to get him out of there. Okay, coup on Angola. Don't you have to flip that? You boy, and that's such a huge swing. Do you take U.S. Japan and flip it, or do you trigger salt and hope you can flip it that way, or do you take your realigns in Mexico, given that you have so many problems in Central? This is tough. This is tough. Yeah, tariffs in Central America seems right. So you can flip Angola. You can realign. Yeah, they're gonna go with the flip. It looks like, and hope to get their realignments done later. But yeah, I think you have to do that. You can't allow that in Angola. And then now Brazil's still an issue for Team France. They need to take Brazil, so presumably they won't coup Guatemala, and then you realign on AR2. Certainly, Team France wants to take back Brazil. The question is, what else do they need to do? They could also fight in Europe with Truman gone. Could also fight for West Germany if they wanted to, although they already have domination and it's already scored. So I don't know that that's necessary. Okay, Iran Contra is going to go Brazil, and what else? Oh, got to take Lao back. Sure. Now you take the two-op realign of Mexico, and you need to get them all out, or this game or you're in serious trouble. And they do get them out. Max Goldman's realigns of Mexico, legendary for their ineffectiveness, pay off here. Okay, so now you can take Mexico if you're Canada, and then if France doesn't fill Cuba, you just score Central for even. If they do fill Cuba, that's too bad, but then Fidel becomes free. Ajoy is driving, so the realigns worked, and Max is not driving. Team France using up a lot of time here. Can't see their clock because of the issues with the video, but presumably they don't run out of time, so we don't need to worry about that. It's worth noting that US-Japan is in the discard. So Team France could try taking Japan. Oh, and they're going to go bear trap and just going to overprotect. Okay, so now what the heck do you do? You want to take advantage of this, but I think you just take advantage of it by taking Mexico and scoring, right? I think this is what you do, and Central looked like it could be an unmitigated disaster. Ooh, a fail on the roll. Central looked like a complete disaster. Now, though, it will be even. Okay, and there goes Reagan bombs for 2 VP, which would have been 2 VPs. So a pretty good miss there for Team France. They get rid of voice and they get rid of a 2 VP Reagan bombs. So not too bad. Okay, gonna salt for voice. Interesting. Aldrich and Terror are still around. And there's Omit. Yeah, and we'll see. They do decide to keep ABM in the deck, which makes sense. Okay, a miss on Angola, and now you can UN gunman for a coup somewhere else. Yeah, this isn't going to do anything, but it does lower DEFCON and protect your 1 stabs, and then you can space Fidel if you want to. Or you can coup with it, and just, since Central scored, figure you'll deal with Cuba later. Or obviously you could trigger VOA. Oh, and here's China. Yeah, and China's going to take Japan. And now SALT is gone, so you can't SALT for US-Japan. Okay, yeah, and with that, no choice but to use VOA. And here we go to turn 9. Oh boy, and some big ops here. They get Cal. They get We Will Bury You. Junta makes sense. Yep. So Latin America debt. Okay, South African unrest stops Africa Dom and allows Angola to be flipped. So that's huge. This is just Brazil coup Brazil, I think. Or is it? Oh, okay. Thinking about maybe cooing Venezuela. Okay, they missed, so it doesn't matter anyway. So 1 South Africa, 2 Angola, then you put 2 more in Angola and 2 in Japan. If you've got a 4-op, do they? They only have a 2. Or either only use a 2, I suppose. So now the question is, okay, a 1 Brazil for sure to take Dom there. You want to take Uruguay as well, but what about Japan? You really don't want to lose Japan, although I suppose you could flip Lao if you did lose it. Korean War is going to be to Japan for sure, yeah. There it is. So you lost Japan, but you get South America Dom. Okay, 3 Doms on the board now for Team France. Middle East is even. Central is even, but certainly I would think of France as being ahead there. Latin American debt crisis can just discard We Will Bury You. Oh, even realigns on a goal. They try even realigns and they hit. Oh, wow. That was a bit of a desperation play, and it works out. IP War Event is huge. That works out. Oh my, what a swing. Africa swings back from red dom to blue dom, and now Asia is a huge problem for Team Canada, having lost India and Japan, with US Japan gone for good, barring a Star Wars for US Japan situation. But now Star Wars for US Japan doesn't make a ton of sense because you're still going to be dominated. Wow, what a turn of events. Okay, so Team France dominates in Europe. The only scorings left, though, worth noting, South America and Africa both still to score, Asia still to score. So which of those scoring cards are going to come out is the big question. Portuguese is the coup card. The coup Colombia sets up realigns on Venezuela. Team Canada down 5 VP, have not seen War Games yet. And the French can space for 3 more VPs. One Small Step and Star Wars are both around, so keep that in mind as we head to turn 10. The Canadians, I'm sure, really don't want to play Fidel, but I don't think they want to give Pershing either. Pershing's a little bit of a problem. You're going to lose access to Turkey. Well, just as I say that, no, you will not. Okay, and that stops the realigned threat. What's going to space? It's going to be Fidel. Wonderful to see France. Ortega is gone as well. So Ortega and Fidel both gone. I wonder if we will see France fill Cuba here. If they don't, I wonder if the Canadians might take Cuba themselves, but they have other priorities. Puppets. Okay, into Colombia and Zimbabwe. Yeah, that gives Africa Dom, and then DR. Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, interesting. A Poland jam. Warsaw is in the deck. So Warsaw was used for ops on turn 6, so it was shuffled back in. Canada needs their scorings to come out. Okay, decall for the event. So they're not going to contest Poland. All right, decall. So a 3 Poland and 1 Angola, right? Yep, that's what it's going to be. They're going to use China. They're going to hold Pershing. No, that's not going to give you Africa Dom, and you. Both bad South African cards are gone. Worth noting. I don't know why you put an 8th in Poland. Don't you want to put? Well, oh no, because stopping Dom in the moment doesn't really matter. And here we go, turn 10. Aldrich in Asia is fantastic. Chernobyl is interesting, although I don't think you have the ops to... Do you have the ops to flip over East Germany and Italy? Italy's going to take 1, 2, that's going to take 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 ops. East Germany is going to take 4, another 9 ops, so that's 18. Yeah, I don't think you have enough. So they're going to go Bert the Turtle to protect Africa, which makes sense. Yeah, you do not have enough for a Europe play here. Could Chernobyl be useful in another region? Everything's overprotected in Asia except for Japan. Oh boy, Brush. What is Brush going to hit? Brazil. It's got to be Brazil, right? Depending on what scoring card they have. This is a huge, huge moment in this game. If this Brush hits Canada, it's tough to see their path back without their scorings in hand. Because France can just drop Africa for 1. If France has South America, then whether they have Africa or not, I think this has to be Brazil. If they have Africa and not South America, I think this has to be Nigeria. And then you immediately score. Whether you hit or miss, you immediately score. Now, the other issue is you obviously don't want to give up Poland, but Warsaw still around, could be in the French hand. Now, if Ted Livermore were here, he would say the obvious target is Pakistan, so you could get Asia control. He loves getting Asia control. It's Nigeria or it's Brazil. The fact that they're thinking about it for so long. Oh, they go Angola. Okay, I guess Angola makes sense. Angola makes sense because you don't want to get realigned to South Africa. Okay, sorry. Angola makes sense, but they do go after Angola, which suggests they do not have South America scoring. And now AR1, here's War Games to take Poland back. Yes. Pershing to space. Oh, and they miss. And there's Africa. So Canada gets it off for just 1. Canada is behind on this board. Okay, Chernobyl for Europe. The fact that they thought so long about it when they had Africa, maybe they have South America as well. We'll see. Oh, Star Wars as well in the French hand. That's rough. Would have been nice to activate that, although France has Canada, so I assume it wouldn't have been a big problem. France has China, excuse me, not Canada. So NTB here can break East Germany. A Comic-Con play here would be so annoying from France, but I believe it's gone. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's gone. I think it's gone. So Asia is an extremely ugly number. I believe it's 8. Yeah. 8 for Asia. Central is 4. Nasser for the event is really annoying. Yeah, you have to fix that. So good play by France. Keeping Nasser in the deck, looks like that forces Canada to use 2 ops they would definitely want to use elsewhere. Team Canada also needs mill ops, but they're staring down the barrel of 8 in Asia, 4 in Central. Middle East is even. Africa's just 1 at the moment. And a coup does flip Dom. So I think a coup with Yuri in Zimbabwe is good. Gets you mill ops as well. And then you've got Aldrich. But I think NTB's got to break East Germany. Breaking East Germany gets you Dom, 3 countries to 2. Gets you Dom in Europe. Okay. Yeah, I gotta think France has this unless they have South America in their hand. It seems Asia's 8, Central's 4, so that's 12. South America's 5, so that's +7 on the board, +6 for Africa once you count Africa. Middle East is even. +7 for China, and then Europe is even. Okay, there's one small step, so they weren't going to get Star Wars'd regardless. Okay, just going to overprotect Cuba. Taking the coup here in Africa makes sense, even though it doesn't stop Dom. Because now taking Botswana would give Dom... Or it just doesn't... Okay, and there's a jam. So I think this has to be 2 East Germany, right? I think you have to ignore that, and this is 2 East Germany, which is worth 5 VPs. Yep. This is clearly the best play. Middle East is 3, Central's 4, Asia's 8, so that's 15. South America and Europe are 5 each, so +5 on the board for France, +4 because of China, but +5 because they have 1 on the board. I think this is going to need to be a miracle realign situation. Or if France has Warsaw, obviously the game is over, but I think this has to be a miracle realign situation, but I don't know. I don't even know what you do. You don't have any good realign targets. Africa 1, South America and Europe 5 each, so that's 11, 12 with China for the US. 8 in Asia, 3 in the Middle East, 4 in Central, +1 on the board is 16. So Team France up 4, I believe. Now, 1 op in Botswana, 1 influence in Botswana is 3 VPs for Canada. So they could do, so if it were the Canadians' turn, they could go 1 Botswana, poke Iraq, and win. But clearly, France will take Egypt as long as they've got even a guilt-free 1-op. They'll take Egypt if they had a guilt-free 1-op. I think that's good enough, and barring realigns, because Botswana takes Dom. Although, El Salvador, Botswana and El Salvador stops Dom. El Salvador would stop Dom in Central. So a guilt-free 1-op would mean France is up 5. And then Botswana, El Salvador would be 5 for Team Canada, and so I think it would be a draw. Question is, if they have something better than a guilt-free 1-up, can they do more damage? And I'm not sure they can. I guess it's because there's no 1-stabs available, and if they put one in Botswana, they can. Okay, that's yep. So they go Botswana there, and they overprotect Syria. So I think this is just Ivory Coast, El Salvador, isn't it? Yes, Ivory Coast for Africa Dom, El Salvador to stop Central Dom is a draw. Oh no! Oh, that's right. They can poke. Oh, I didn't even see. Oh God, that's embarrassing. I didn't see that. That's embarrassing. I didn't see that. But yeah, that's good enough. I believe that is good enough to win by 1. Yeah, that had to be an overprotect. That had to be an overprotect of Algeria, not of Syria. Because a poke of Algeria is 4 VPs. I think this is good enough. And it sure is. Wow, what a game. What a game. Congratulations to Team Canada for taking this one. And they just barely eke it out over Team France, thanks to a turn 10 play with an Algeria poke. And so if I don't know. Here's what the board looked like. Clearly, AWACS had to go 1 Egypt. And then they overprotected Syria, which didn't do anything, and they put 1 in Botswana, which did nothing. If they had overprotected Algeria instead? If they'd overprotected Algeria instead, then Canada would have gone 1 Botswana, which would have given Africa Dom, but for 1 less VP. And 1 El Salvador, but I don't think the third op could do anything. Yeah, I don't think the third op could do anything, so I think it would have been a draw in that case. But yeah, allowing that break of putting that third in Botswana, and then allowing the break of Angola of Algeria for 2 ops was a big mistake by Team France, and that cost them the game. But yeah, if Canada had a 4 op, then they could have gone 1 Botswana, 1 El Salvador, and then break something in the Middle East, which would have been good enough. But yeah, with a 3 or a 2, I think would have been a draw in that case. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. This was a fun one. Thank you, Max Goldman, for sending me the game. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it home to you. I might be playing a game tonight. Was looking at maybe playing one this afternoon, but Ed can't. So we'll see if we can get that one in later in the week. I might be playing an ITSL game tonight, so I will post it in the Discord if I am. But until next time, this is Justin Abramson. That was fun, but now it's done. So long, everybody.